Okay, here we go. A little pre-show ASMR for everybody. All right, here we go. Here we go. Listen. Oh, yeah. Crack a cold one with the boys on a Saturday. Let's go ahead and call Mr. Paul Baylor.
Good evening, Drew.
Hey. How we doing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Doesn't make
this week can just
yeah,
be over. How about that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's been a heck of a week for me as well. Just super busy. I got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. I don't know. This one's going to kind of be all over the place. So
let's do it.
Paul, I like being honest with you.
Okay.
There's a bunch of computer parts on my floor right now. It's not what you think. It's not what you think. I have been holding good to my promise. I have not taken apart my desktop PC.
Okay. But
this is my previous VMware server that I have taken apart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's been some pretty big changes in my home lab over the past week, and it's been quite an adventure. Let's see, where do I even want to start with this? So, I find myself these days doing a lot of intense data operations, and that requires that basically requires two things in the space that I'm playing in. Massive amounts of storage and massive amounts of RAM. The compute power just kind of is what it is.
Okay.
So I think if you're a listener to this show, I don't know if we've ever gotten to this before, but I have a bit of a home lab. And in my home lab, I was running ESX or VMware or whatever you want to call it, hypervisor 6.5, and I was doing that on a first generation AMD Threadripper processor. So it had 24 cores, I believe, when you took hyperthreading into account.
Okay.
And 64 gigs of RAM. I threw some storage in there, and everything was sort of hunky-dory. For spinning up a VM or a game server or my VPN server, I could just do whatever I needed to do on there. If I needed a Linux VM, basically anything I didn't want to run on my Mac. And that particular machine has served me well for 2, maybe 3 years now. Mm-hmm. But now I find myself in a place where I need vast amounts of storage and I need lots of RAM. I had upgraded. I don't know if that's the right word. I had changed over to the Threadripper computer because previously I was running my VMware host on a Dell R710, which is like an 11th generation Dell server. It was one that was going to get thrown out. I sort of rehomed it. It's a rescue, and I threw massive. I didn't throw massive. I don't know if 196 gig is a massive amount of RAM, but for a home lab server, that's a lot.
That's more than I have.
Yeah,
probably in total.
Yeah,
in my house.
and what I was doing before is that server came with a bunch of SAS drives in it, and I kind of left those there, and I put in some PCIe storage, and everything was fine until I upgraded to the Threadripper box. Well, I had the bright idea last weekend that I was going to migrate back to the Dell because it had all the RAM, and I was going to replace all the spinning Rust drives in the front storage controller with cheap SSDs, like cheap 1 terabyte SSDs.
Okay.
So I massively upgraded the storage, and I massively upgraded massively upgraded the storage was the first kind of task. And then I migrated a bunch of my PCIe SSDs that were in the old server into the new one, and I went through the process of trying to get VMware 6.5 installed on it, which was quite an ordeal because this server's so old. Okay. Quick side deviation. So this server's so old. How old is it? It's so old.
I was going to ask that.
Yeah, it's so old that the BIOS updater that comes built into the UEFI BIOS of the server can't connect to the server anymore because it doesn't exist. So it was like an entire weekend ordeal trying to figure out how to get the BIOS updated because I couldn't install VMware 6.5 because it would only get so far, and it would say, hey, by the way, your firmware sucks and we're not going to install VMware because your storage controller might stop responding. Haha.
Neat.
So I had to spend all weekend figuring out how to get updates to that computer, and I'll cut to the chase here, but what it involved doing was downloading this really strange borderline malware Dell utility that then connected to an archive server, built an ISO disk that I had to mount inside the BIOS program, forge an XML signature, like a certificate signature that I found on Reddit to get it to recognize it as legit media, and then install it. So it was a mess.
That sounds legit.
Yeah, so long story short, I've migrated back to that, and I have built a pretty significantly sized Kubernetes cluster because I have been messing around with SQL Server 2019 big data clusters.
Okay.
It's an interesting product. It basically gives you SQL Server plus distributed compute, so Apache Spark, Polybase,
Nice. Okay.
all that stuff is sort of built into it. And I could probably do an hour's presentation on this podcast about it, but suffice to say that I've been doing a lot there, and that just requires a lot of storage. Now, it's Kubernetes and it's data, which means I need off cluster storage. So what I was attempting to do here, and I sort of proved that it works, is I'm in the process of building a separate standalone Linux server using a bunch of spare parts, including that Threadripper motherboard and processor and the RAM that's associated with it, and some old NAS hard drives that I'm not using anymore, because when I upgraded to my Synology, I just took the old drives out of my old NAS.
Okay.
And I'm going to be building a new server using FreeNAS. Have you heard of FreeNAS?
I have heard of FreeNAS, yes.
Yeah, so I'm going to be using FreeNAS as
What is
my...
FreeNAS for the listeners?
Yeah, so I know that you and I have talked about the fact that we have NAS devices or network-attached storage devices in our house that run... you basically buy them off the shelf from a company like Synology or QNAP, and they come with everything you need to sort of have your own network home storage, right, for storing movies, pictures, backups, whatever. This basically gives you that same type of interface, except you're bringing all your hardware, whereas when you buy like an off-the-shelf NAS device, you're basically buying that plus whatever hard drives you want. So this FreeNAS server is going to be a standalone sort of file server that I'm going to use for my Kubernetes cluster and probably VMware storage as well, if I need to mount any external drives to my VMware. I'm just going to put nice, big, fat, slow storage on it. It doesn't need to be hyper fast or anything because this is just for a demo environment. So I was in the process of I basically inventoried my basement. I'm like, okay, I have this old case and this old power supply and these old hard drives, and okay, this case is nicer than this case, so I'll move everything out of that one, and I need to find like the old hard drive cage for this one, and it's given me purpose in that it's going to help me consolidate a bunch of crap in my back cellar and help me get rid of like just some old junk. So that has been what I was working on right up until this call, and like it's almost ready to boot. I just was kind of screwing everything down and tightening it up now that I realized that I found all the parts that I need. So
Excellent.
yeah, so that's what I've been working on.
Sounds like a fun little project.
Yeah, it's a fun little project.
Oh,
Yeah, but man, getting that server upgraded was a bear. Oh man,
that does not sound like fun.
no.
Like, when did this is the R710. When did that first come out?
Hold on.
I don't know. 2009.
Yeah,
Says Google.
yeah. It still runs like a champ. I mean,
Yeah.
it's got, like I said, it's got oodles of RAM. I actually have some hard drive cages, and what's interesting is that the controller in there can work with SATA drives. So I can go to Micro Center, I can spend $80 per terabyte on an SSD drive, and it runs way quieter because it doesn't have any spinning rust in it. So yeah, it seems to be working pretty good.
Excellent.
Yeah, and my cluster is running, and I'm doing like big data like type stuff on it. So yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. I should probably talk more about that in some point in the future.
You should. You put it on the list. Write it down. Put it on the list.
SQL Server big data clusters.
There you go. It's on the list now.
Boom, it's on the list now. Okay. Okay, I have one more mea culpa for the podcast today.
Okay. Yes, I'm waiting.
Yeah, okay. Last show, I bemoaned the fact that I use different browsers for different things on my Mac, and you lovingly and ever helpfully suggested that I get the app Bumpr, Bumpr.
I did.
I then immediately, like a petulant child who pees in his diaper and poops in his diaper, bemoan the fact that I had to pay $3 for a simple utility that when I click $3. $3, right? He says, after he talks about how much he spends on his home lab, $3 on this particular app for the privilege, not the right, the privilege to, when I click on a link, it gives me the option of which web browser I want to use to open that link. Now, that is such a godsend for me because, I use my Mac primarily for work, but I do use it for personal projects as well because it is my computer. So Safari is for, like, daddy, right? That's what I use for, like, all my personal stuff, like my Gmail and all the stuff that I care about. And then I use Edge. I use Chromium Edge for work, like, logging into Azure and doing other things related to my job. So you suggested this app. I held out until about Wednesday when I decided to buy it. And I'm here to tell you, buddy, it has completely changed my life. It is such a great app. Let me kind of count the ways here. So it does exactly what it is advertised. When you click on a link from your web browser, from like Visual Studio Code, or basically anything that isn't the web browser you're currently working in, it sort of hijacks that link and basically says, okay, what browser do you want to open this in? And when you first install the application, it recognizes all the browsers you have on your computer. So apparently I have like an ancient install of Firefox, so that was on the list. And now when you click on a link, it sort of already highlights your preferred browser or the browser that you last opened, and then there's a little context menu where it shows like the icon of the browser you want to open, and you click it and it opens. It's dead simple. But I'm here to tell you that in addition to doing that, it allows you to create custom rules based on URL matches.
Oh, I'm listening.
Okay, so my workflow was, when I'm in my email, if I click a link that is work related, meaning it has like .azure.com, right? So that would resolve to anything related to like Azure DevOps, the Azure portal, other utilities and internal applications that I use that have sort of that domain name. I want those to open in Chromium Edge, right? Or if it is a link to an external website, like some news story or something on some other website, I'm fine with Safari. So inside the application, you can set preferences to say anything that ends with or matches a URL pattern, just skip the context menu and give me this browser.
Huh.
Yeah. It's and that right there solves my problem. Like the context menu was fine, right? And there are still edge cases of weird things that come in my email that I do want the choice. So it still serves its purpose, but for the things that I was constantly having to bounce back and forth between browsers for, it has completely revolutionized my workflow. If I have any complaints about the program, it is this. Number one, it does install a little icon up in your top menu bar, like your top. Yeah. What do they call that?
It's in your menu bar. I'm not sure if that has a name or not.
It's at the top
menu bar. Yeah.
Yeah, it's at the top. It's at the top menu bar.
Yeah.
And
I have so many icons up there already, so one more.
I'm extremely picky about those icons. Quick sidebar. I have two instances of OneDrive running on my computer, one for daddy and one for work. I have one tied to my personal Office 365 account, one tied to my work Office 365 account. And for the longest time, the corporate OneDrive icon was blue. The other icon was white.
No.
I personally submitted feedback saying no. This you are vastly underselling what Mac users want with this icon, and they changed it to white. So yeah, so corporate OneDrive and Daddy's OneDrive are now the same icon. I just have to click it. There's absolutely no way to tell them apart until you click on them. But I can live with that. I just want them to both be the same color. I want everything in that menu bar to be white. So the icon for Bumpr is a pretty chunky square with a B in it. I just wish it was just a tad more subtle. That would be like literally my only complaint. And if you're not a Mac user, that's going to sound infinitesimally petty. But trust me when I say it does draw your eye to that bar, and it should not.
Now, can I recommend another application to you?
I mean, at this point, I'm already spending money. Let's go. What do we got?
So, I'm going to drop a link in the show notes if I remember how to web browser.
Yeah, if you had Bumpr.
So, yeah. Honestly, that whole rules thing is making me consider switching back to the 2 browser lifestyle. So,
what do I have here?
Okay. So this is an app called Bartender 3. Now, I think it's a little bit more expensive. So this may not be worth... Yeah, it's $15. Okay.
$15?
I know. This may not be worth it to you. Okay. Well, what Bartender does is it allows you to kind of take control of all your menu bar icons. You can hide them. You can kind of like put them under... it creates another menu bar icon that you can use to click on and kind of hide other menu bar icons. You can hide them when you don't want them. You can show them when they have like an update. I use this to hide a lot of my menu bar items, but even then I still have a lot. I have a lot. But if you really don't want to see the B anymore, you can spend $15 and get rid of the B.
Man. Okay. So, all right. Just real talk. I'm a man who I have some icons up there that I only need situationally. For instance, I have a VPN server at home that I VPN into. I like having the VPN icon at the top of my menu bar, but in computing in the time of cholera that we are these days, I'm not traveling anywhere, so I don't need that icon. But I know when I eventually do start traveling again, I will miss that icon, and I have to go into preferences and turn it back on. This application hits an incredible sweet spot. And as much as I'm going to begrudge that $15 price tag, you know what? I'm probably going to buy it. It's brilliant. Like, it does exactly what Mac users want. Like, Mac users only want one thing, and it's disgusting. Yeah. But, like, we want... It's like...
It has a 4-week trial. 4 weeks.
Now here's my hesitation though. We are on the cusp of getting Big Sur, right?
I have used this application for years. It has been through many Mac OS upgrades. I can't imagine they wouldn't upgrade it for Big Sur.
Well, I mean, if you're charging $15, you damn well better. But I want it to be ready day one.
I can't. I don't know whether that will be the case or not, but.
Yeah, like for instance, right? So I'm looking at the blog. Oh, hold on a second. Okay. Listen.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
On 7 July 2020, there's a blog post. Mac OS Big Sur beta. Mac OS 11 Big Sur is a fantastic and is a big update. The changes in Big Sur are much under the hood as the UI because of this, Bartender needs additional work than usual to get it working on the great new Mac OS beta. I already have it working reasonably well here, but I still have a lot of work to do. So. I would hate to spend $15, upgrade my OS in, I don't know, when do you think, September?
September or October, probably.
Yeah. So maybe the 4-week trial is worth it.
Yeah.
But I will be reluctant to buy it until I know it works with Big Sur.
I can respect that.
Yeah. If it was $3, I mean, whatever. It's fine. But
and this is one of those applications that does the very trendy Mac style, where like you buy Bartender 3 and you get all the updates, but eventually he's going to add some new features, and it's going to make Bartender 4, and then you will have to buy it again. Usually you get them for I think usually you get it for a discount. Like he gives it to you for like $5 or like $8 or something. But
oh god,
yeah, that's okay. I'm someone who has lots of things in his menu bar. Some things I want to never see. Some things I want to see conditionally. So I've rocked it for a long time. I like it quite a bit, especially for those icons that you just can't get rid of. There isn't an option for it.
Yeah,
I can just make Bartender go, you hide over here, and I never have to see you.
Like a perfect example of that is like the Wi-Fi menu.
Yeah.
Like, again, if I'm traveling or going in and out of offices all day, yeah, it's nice to have that bar right there. But it'd be nice to not have it all the time.
Yeah, you can just click right here, airport Wi-Fi, and I can say hide, and poof, it's.
I'm probably gonna buy this.
Yeah.
$15.
I would get the trial, use it, see whether it's worth it or not for you. Like I said, I've really enjoyed it. But it's not. It's frivolous. It's absolutely and completely frivolous. I simply buy the money because there are some icons in that menu bar that I never went to see, and this, like I'm a snobbish Mac user. I want everything to be just so, and this application helps me do that.
Well, then that's just it. Like I want it to be just so. I pay a lot of attention to that area, and I want it to be, I want it to be nice and clean.
Now, for me, I want it to be functional and useful because I don't even want to count. I have too many things in there, but
I can tell you off the top of my head what's in mine right now. I have the Bumpr icon, obvi. I have 2 iCloud little cloudy icons. I have my Wi-Fi connection drop down. I have my volume drop down.
Mm-hmm.
Let me think. I think that's it. Oh, my battery. My battery's there displayed, right? Because it's a laptop.
Yeah.
And 1Pass. Those are the only ones there that are running.
Okay.
1Password.
Right. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Okay. So the first thing is an application called Spot Menu that when Spotify is running and playing music displays the currently playing item in my menu bar. I like it. Don't at me. Right now I have the Skype in there because Skype is running. Skype. The next one is one of my favorite applications in the entire world, and they just recently updated. It is an application called SoundSource. It allows you to easily change both where your sound comes out of and what your sound comes into. Has some equalizers, got some cool effects. I love this application because
wait. Hit me up with that one again because that sounds
SoundSource by Rogue Amoeba. SoundSource.
Wait, they make something else important.
They also Audio Hijack.
Yeah, they make Audio Hijack.
Yes, they do. I like this quite a bit. I use it all the time because I currently have like 4 different ways to get sound out of my Mac.
$29.
Yes, it's expensive, but again, it's artisanal. It's beautiful. Okay, all right. Allow me to continue. Right now, I have an application called Amphetamine running. It keeps my Mac from falling asleep. Usually, it's not running. In fact, I'm not sure why it's running right now, so I'm going to quit that. My next icon is actually a combination of 3 icons coming from iStat menus.
I love that app. I love that app.
It provides performance information so I can see my CPU, RAM, temperature, stuff like that. Then I have my battery icon. Then I also have an icon. The next one is, what is this thing called? GFX card status. This is one of those applications where I really don't need anymore because I don't go anywhere. It lets me know when my what GPU my laptop is currently using, whether it's using the integrated or the discrete. It allows me to force it to be integrated or force it to be discrete. The big reason I run this is that the discrete GPU uses way much more battery life, and sometimes I want to force it to integrated only. Again, this is one of those applications I probably could hide in Bartender because I don't need it right now at all. Then I have my time machine icon because I like to see when time machine's running. I have my Bluetooth icon because occasionally I do connect my AirPods. Then the Wi-Fi menu, which again I should probably just turn that off because I'm not going anywhere. Then the clock, and then I have Bartender. And hiding under Bartender is Spotlight, an application called Divi, which I use for window management. And then I have my Alfred icon, which is what I use as my my Spotlight replacement. Then my Blackblaze, that's a Freudian slip, Backblaze icon, which is my cloud backup solution. And then finally, 1Password. That's a lot.
Now, how many of those are you hiding with Bartender? 50% of those?
No. I'm hiding Spotlight, Divi, Alfred, Backblaze, 1Password. So 5 right now. 5.
Wow.
And then I have a lot showing. A lot. But I have a big 5K monitor. I have plenty of room. I need more stuff. I need more icons. More.
Fill me up, Daddy. Yeah, I get it.
I've got at least 8 inches.
Oh boy.
That I could fill up with more icons right now. So
there. All right. Title.
Oh.
All right. Let me think here. Before we steer this into video game land, Paul asked me if I got my RG350M.
Hey, did you get?
No, I didn't get my RG350M.
All right, now I'm getting a little worried for you.
Yeah, you should be. Okay. Let me pull up my email here, and I'm just gonna read you sort of what's not been happening with this shipment. Okay. So we talked about this 2 shows ago, 1 show ago, right? I don't know.
I think I talked. Hold on. We talked about it originally 2 shows ago.
All right. Yes. This thing left Hong Kong on July 22nd.
Uh-oh.
At July 31st, it was received at the DHL e-commerce center in Phoenix, Arizona. So from July 22nd to July 31st, it basically did 3 somersaults. It did a somersault from the warehouse in Hong Kong to a boat, maybe an airplane, I don't know, to a DHL-owned thing. It then somersaulted across the Pacific Ocean to the port of Los Angeles, where it sat in customs, and then eventually it was released to DHL and sent to a warehouse in Phoenix, Arizona. 1 day later, it left that facility, and I didn't hear hell or high water of it until August 3rd, which was last week, or that was this week. It was this week.
Yeah.
Where it arrived at a DHL e-commerce facility in Hebron, Kentucky, which is just adjacent to the airport.
That's close.
Yeah, just adjacent to the Cincinnati airport. So at CVG or whatever that airport thing is, there's some big DHL center that it landed in, and there it has sat until yesterday at 7:49 p.m. It had a sort code update. It's still in Hebron, Kentucky. The United States Postal Service still doesn't have it, but it hasn't moved. It hasn't gone anywhere. So I don't know where this thing is. I called DHL to say, hey, should I be worried? And they're like, we're showing an estimated date of the 10th, which is Monday. Okay. The Postal Service is also under incredible strain right now. So it might be late because of, again, we live in a time when things aren't, normal. So I'm willing to give them a little bit of benefit of the doubt. But this thing has now taken it has taken over 2 weeks to get to me, with still no solid estimation, because according to the United States Postal Service website, the United States Postal Service website so lovingly says on its way to UPS, where the DHL website says tendered to delivery service provider. So somebody's lying. I don't know. So no, I have not gotten my dingus yet.
You'll get it soon. And it's not a dingus. It runs open.
It runs a dingus. It runs open dingus. Free dingus.
Oh.
All right. I think we need to talk about some video games because you have big news.
I do. Okay. Ghost of Tsushima. I finished it. I beat the main story. It's wonderful. It ends so well. It does one of those things where you think the game's over. It's like, haha, no, you got another 45 minutes.
Control did that too, by the way.
Yeah. It was really good. And then I went through, and then I was really close to getting the platinum. So then I just spent a couple of nights and I finished it. So if those of you who don't understand my filthy console gamer talk, much like the Xbox achievements, PlayStation has a series of trophies. You unlock the trophies and you get a nice little ding, and you get a shot of dopamine, which is really nice. I was really close, and I finished it and got the platinum, which means I got all of the trophies.
Literally every achievement.
everything. I did it all. I got it all. It was really, really, really good. I mean, I don't have much more to say besides that. I'm kind of waiting for like a new game plus mode, or maybe I'll replay it again on a harder difficulty level. I'm not sure. But it was a spectacular game. If you have a PlayStation 4, just don't think. Just buy this game and play it. It's spectacular.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have never 100%ed a game in my entire life on any console, on any computer game. Now, then again, I think hold on a second. Now you got me curious. Let me just check. Let me check my achievements real quick. How could I do that?
Oh, in Steam? I have no idea.
Yeah, no, there's a way. Achievement showcase. I think I can click through to this and it'll show me. Is there a way? I have 12 of the 1,250 achievements in Train Simulator. Edit or change showcase. Boy, it'd be great if this was a responsive website. Oh, there we go. Okay. Hang on. Yeah, I'm just genuinely curious now. Maybe because I have so many? Oh, that was the first time I ever won Battle Royale. Wow, I've had Steam for 15 years. Wow. Hang on a second. Games? Can I go to games and it'll just tell me? All games recently played. Oh, wow. Holy cow. I have 360 hours in Payday 2, and I have 350 hours in Warframe.
That's a lot.
That's significant playtime. I don't know how to see this thing. I just wish there was a way for me to view all my achievements. Like, there's a thing I can definitely click on here, but it literally does not. Oh, wait a second. Here we go.
Did it finally
games. Oh, here we go. Okay. Recently played. All games. Can I sort this? Sort by playtime or sort by name? No. I give up. Yeah, I've never done this. I've never successfully... I mean, I have beaten games. I've gotten to the end of games, but I've never gotten, like, a platinum achievement before. Now, did you have to play like on the hardest difficulty to get all the achievements? Like, there wasn't anything tied to like a difficulty level? Because that's the thing that really pisses me off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, mostly... what I kind of did is I kind of played the game how I wanted to play. I didn't really worry about trophies. I kind of naturally got like... I did all of the main story. I did all the side stories. I like took out all of the Mongol outposts, so I kind of naturally got those as I was going. And then I had like maybe like 5 trophies left. So basically, and they were all kind of like collection trophies. So on a couple of them, I basically were like, okay, you know what? You had to like bow at 10 different hidden shrines, and there's like hidden shrines all over the place. When you bow, something funny happens, like a bunch of frogs come out, or a bird lands on you, or you get surrounded by fireflies. It's just a cute little thing that happens. And I had bowed at the ones that I had found as I was going through, but I must have been like a few short, and I pulled up a guide, and they're like, oh, they're all over the place. Here, go to this one, then this one, and then like by the time I got like 3 of them from the guide, the achievement unlocked and the platinum popped. So yeah, it was... honestly, like if it would have been like 20 trophies short, I would have been like, nope, don't care. But so many of them are kind of just like I have achieved just by playing the game how I wanted to play the game, which is really nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I figured, what the heck? And one thing I really enjoy about the PlayStation is when you can go through and look at your trophies. It kind of gives you like, it tells you a percentage of players of the game that have like, you know, got the trophy. And I think for like the platinum, it was like 6% or something. I was like, you know what? I'll take that. Like less than 10% of the people that played this game got this trophy, and I'm one of them. So I was pretty happy.
Wow.
Yeah. It wasn't hard. Still felt good. Okay. Like it's like I got all of the game. I got everything out of the game that I wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually looking for a PS4 bundle that comes with that game. I don't think there are any yet.
I don't think there are any.
But I'm gonna take your advice and kind of wait closer to the Christmas time holiday and see if they do something like that. I don't see why they wouldn't.
I'd have to imagine they would, especially for like Black Friday, get those sales going, or like maybe a last like hurrah before the PS5 comes out.
Mm-hmm. But I'm also thinking that I kind of hold out hope against hope that they do release it for the PC, because Horizon Zero Dawn just got ported over the PC, and that was a previous Sony exclusive as well.
Yeah, have you read any of the reviews of that?
I'm told that the game is still really good, but I guess there were some technical problems on launch day. But I mean, that's kind of
very well. But
that's kind of that's par for the course with PC games. I mean, let's be honest. You either got to patch it or you got to update your drivers. One of the two. Matter of fact, I'm wondering if I'm due for a driver update. No, it says I have the most recent version, which is strange. Yeah, the latest one. Huh, how about that? Yeah. Anyway, you put another game on the list before I want to talk about my game.
Okay. Have you played any of this?
No, I haven't. Why don't you talk about it?
Okay, so the game that I'm currently kind of obsessed with, what's the full name? Hold on, I think it's Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout.
Yeah, Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout.
Okay, so my son started playing this, and then I realized
amazing.
I realized that as being a PlayStation Plus subscriber this month, I got this game for free. I'm like, you know what? That game looks pretty fun for a free game. And oh my goodness, Drew. Like the game has lots and lots of flaws, but it is just absolutely just so delightful. Okay, so the game kind of takes inspiration from those really absurd Japanese obstacle game shows, right? Like Extreme Ultimate Challenge or whatever, things like that. And that's really the notion of it is it's a multiplayer only game, and you kind of create this adorable jelly bean looking creature that's just cute. And the only controls are like move, jump, dive, and grab. Okay.
Okay.
So those are the only controls you have. And you get paired up with 60 players, so 59 other people and you. And you go through a series of obstacle courses or like mini games, right? So one of them may be like, all you have to do is literally like start at the beginning and get through the obstacle course to the end. Some of them are team based, where like there's a little soccer game where whoever scores the most goals wins. Another team game where like whoever grabs the most eggs and throws them into their nest wins. But like the general idea is it's some sort of obstacle course, whether you have to like dive through walls or avoid spinny things. And then like if you don't finish the course in a certain amount, or it'll be like we're going to take 45 people. The first 45 people to the finish line get to move on, or some of them will be time based. And whoever doesn't make it in a particular, or doesn't stay alive in a particular time, they get eliminated. Or if it's team based, the lowest team score gets eliminated. And you basically go until there's one thing left. You're down to like 8 people. Whoever gets across the finish line, and not just here's the thing. Okay, at the very last one, there's always a crown, right? And you're basically paying for experience points. And the crown is kind of like the ultimate. And you can use crowns to like buy like really exclusive like skins and emotes and stuff like that. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So the last game, you win not by crossing the finish line, but you win by being the first one to grab the crown. And the shitty thing is that not shitty, but the crown kind of bounces. So you kind of have to time your jump and grab to meet it. So like there's been a couple of times where I've been like first and I jump and I miss the crown.
Oh no.
And then someone else grabs it. But it's delightful. The sound is amazing. It's quirky. It's brightly colored. The game itself runs really well. I've never experienced any kind of lag. Even with like the really crazy hectic 60 player at the beginning. It's a delight, Drew. You should definitely check it out.
Now, help me understand this though.
Mm-hmm.
So hang on, I'm looking at the game on Steam right now.
Mm-hmm.
Does it have a Mac client?
I play it on the PlayStation. No, it's Windows only. Yeah.
You play it on the PlayStation, but it's Windows
mm-hmm.
only?
No, so it's on all the consoles and PC.
It's on all the consoles. Now, is it crossplay?
Not yet.
Okay. So it wouldn't be like you and I could play against each other in any...
Not yet. I imagine at some point, because I don't think there's any advantage that you gain over a keyboard and mouse like a lot of games, right? Because there's movement, jump, dive, right? There's not much to it. But it's the downside is the game is way more popular than they thought it was going to be.
Oh, no.
So sometimes you just can't play it because you can't join a game.
Oh, no.
I've only had that happen a couple of times, but I had a pretty good session before I came down and talked to you, Drew, where it was working just fine. Yeah, it's really good. Again, if you have a PlayStation and if you are a PlayStation Plus subscriber, Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout is included in your free games for the month. So it's even it's such a steal for free. But it's $19.99 otherwise, and you will easily get $20 of enjoyment out of this game. It's just adorable. It's one of those games, like, even though, like, you screw up completely and you fail, and then your match is over, you're like, oh, I'll just do one more. And then you do that match, and then you go, I'll just do one more. And then it's, 45 minutes, hour later, and you're like, oh, crap, I have adult things I'm supposed to be doing. And there is, like, microtransactions, but it's all cosmetic, right? You can buy, as you play, you naturally earn, I think the currency is called kudos. There's kudos and crowns. Kudos you get for just playing, and the better you do, the more you get. And if you win, you get the crown. So you can unlock outfits, like the normal outfits with kudos, and the special ones with crowns. So I've only ever won once. I've come close a few times, but tell you, that first time I won, that felt really good.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on this game. I work with some people that were really hyped to play it, and I haven't picked it up yet. Just because I'm going to talk about the game I've been playing, and it's a game that I never really thought I'd be playing again, but I got to give credit where credit's due.
Okay, hit me.
And I've been playing a lot of No Man's Sky.
Okay. Now, I played this game when it first came out, like everyone else, and I found it sorely disappointing. Mm-hmm. But I have heard that the developers are continuing to add more and more features, and it's getting better all the time.
Yeah, so when the game first launched, it was sort of hailed as a game that, has, like, an absurd number of, like, galaxies and systems, and the whole premise of the game is that it's an open exploration game, and your kind of unstated goal is you want to work your way to the center of the universe.
Okay.
And when it came out, everybody was really hyped for it because it seemed like this free exploration thing, but a lot of the things that people were hoping were in the game, like the ability to play with your friends and some of the other aspects of the game, turned out to be really either monotonous or tedious or just not very fun after the first time you do them. And I fell into this category too, because I bought the game and I played it for a little while. It had a couple interesting bugs, but I was able to work around those. And I ended up refunding the game. I didn't think it was fun. There was a lot of backlash, and at the time it was pretty well deserved. But ever since the game has launched, and how long has it been out now? Hang on, that's a good question. We should really do some show homework.
August 12th, 2016.
So it's been out since 2000,
almost 4 years.
16.
Yeah.
So it has had several huge updates since the release. And there was the first super big update was back in August of 2016. And it introduced the concept of being able to build your own base. And like most survival games, whether you're talking about like a Minecraft, a 7 Days to Die, or other games like that, it it really opened up a whole new kind of aspect to the game. And then they had a few other updates around that game. And the thing that eventually brought me back to the game is now here we are in 2020 and almost, hold on, I'm going to count the number of releases. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 updates later. Okay, so 11 full updates later. They have now added the ability to where you can find derelict like space hulks and board them and explore them.
Neat.
And they might be infested with like dangerous robots or, aliens or whatever, and you have to kind of fight your way through them to get rewards. But, they've also added the ability to have things like crossplay. So if you're playing on PlayStation and I'm playing on Steam, we can play together.
Huh.
They added the ability to play the game in VR. Like, there's been a lot of really, really big updates. And, previous updates, I would see it and I'd be like, I should go back and try No Man's Sky. But, this is the one where they got me. And it's kind of like I never really made it that far into the game to begin with, so I never really got to see everything the original game had to offer. But now here I am sort of playing the game with a couple other friends, and we're having a really good time. Like, it's actually really, really fun. And you can build giant stompy robots and build vehicles, and it's really good. So if you had played it, Paul, or you still have it, you may want to give it a whirl.
Maybe I should tell my PlayStation to download it again.
Yeah, I think you would be really kind of interested to try it. So anyway,
Right,
yeah, it did not have good reviews when it launched. It did not, but since then it has been, like I said, received a ton of updates, and it's just really good. It's just really good now.
There it is. I clicked on the download button.
Woohoo! Let me know what you think. Come back with a review next week.
Okay, I will. I'll give it some time.
Oh man, what else do we want to talk about? Anything?
I don't know.
I've had 2 drinks with dinner, so I'm ready to pass out.
You know what? Let's just wrap it up then.
All right, let's tell people where they can find us and such.
Yeah. As always, we're available on your favorite podcatcher. Haha. Seeing how I said that? And on the internet at doingtheirbest.com. You can reach out to us on Twitter at doingbestpod. And you can reach me at Paul Baylor, Bahler on Twitter. And where can we find you, Drew?
Twitter.com/PITTFURG or on twitch.tv/PITTFURG. All right, everybody.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Later.